Good morning, everyone. Happy, what is today? Saturday, November 29th. 2 days removed from Thanksgiving, 2 days until December 1st. 2026 is upon us. Time flies. And the world is only getting worse. I mean, everybody has their own, personal experience in life, and you can choose to be a happy person, I suppose. Sweet Tea, good morning. Good to see you. But if you have any just, awareness of what's going on around the world, it's pretty hard to be positive because nothing is good right now. The prices suck. Violence is at an all-time high. Everybody's lying in the government. Everybody's gaslighting. It's just complete and utter chaos. But we'll try to go through it a little bit and see what's going on. Hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. I don't think I went live yesterday, right? Why didn't I go live yesterday? Because I think I was sleeping probably. And then I was busy in the morning. I went out and sold at the Christmas tree lot. Yesterday was the first day for that, which went really well. Not a ton of people, but people spent money. So I'll be back there today and tomorrow. And they're only charging us $25 for the entire weekend this week, which is cool because normally it's $25 a day. But yeah, let's see what's going on with. Hold on, I'm going to go to YouTube first. I think I saved some videos. Try to start off in somewhat of on a positive note here. Let's see here. What's up, Slim? How are you, sir? I might have saved one of your shorts, Slim. Let me see. If I did, I'll play it first.
Man, public safety announcement of the day. Do not, and I repeat, do not ever buy shoes from the damn dope dealer. Because, man, I don't know what he laced them motherfuckers with, but I have been tripping all day long. Just saying. That's what's up. Be careful out there, folks. Peace.
Very nice. Well done, Slim.
Man, public.
Nice little short by Slim. And then I'll go back up to the top here.
You can eat garbage and still survive. While people are eating food that was cooked a week ago, 10 days ago, 3 months ago, they're keeping it in their refrigerators and eating. And I'm sure they're sleeping 8 to 10 hours a day. That is death for me. 10 hours of sleep, nearly 40% death, isn't it? In 24 hours. So, if you wish to live like that, you can eat whatever you want. What is the problem? You won't die. Inertia will build up. If you take a high-end car today and go and pump gasoline in any of the Indian gas stations, which is 87 octane, your car will stop within a few kilometers. You need to buy special gas and put it into it. Why? Because it's high performance. So if you want to be high performance, what kind of fuel goes into you, you look at it carefully. Try some fresh fruits and vegetables. It could help. If you sit alone…
Makes a lot of sense. What you put in your body, if you eat garbage and you sleep 10 hours a day, which is 40% of the day of 24 hours, yeah, I mean, you could just eat whatever you want if you just want to live like that. Whoopsie. So yeah, that's good advice. If you want to live a high performance life, you got to put high performance food into your body. Two 2:10 in the morning, and that's a car. I don't know. Could you guys hear that? Unbelievable. I don't know if that came from the bar across the street. People have no respect. And those cars probably are like $5,000 cars. They don't even cost that much money. Those exhausts probably cost more than the car itself. Sorry, I spilled my spray bottle of leech water. I'm just wiping it up a little bit. I'm always spilling shit on my lives. All right, let's move on to the next one.
Alone for 3 days. No television, no book, no text.
I'm gonna start it over. He said, if you try to sit alone for 3 days. Why is it so hard to start over?
If you sit alone for 3 days, no television, no book, no texting, simply by yourself, let's see what happens. You must know the nature of who you are. You should not go on dodging yourself and one day you will explode into something. You must know what is the level of madness you're suffering. If your mind does not take instructions from you, it's out of control, is that called madness? Don't tell anybody. You decide what is the level of madness you're going through. With this, if you enter the world, what will you create? You will only create who you are, isn't it? What you are is what will happen to the world around you. Before you step out into the world, is it not important at least you're this much equipped that you are not the problem? Other issues, if they come, we will deal with it to the best of our ability, but this should not be an issue, isn't it?
That's such great advice. Good morning, Donna. How are you? Yes, Sadhguru, exactly. There's always going to be problems in the world, but if you are the problem, like, I don't think anybody, unless you're going to go to jail, is going to be able to sit on a chair or in a room by themselves for 3 days. That is like, I would love to see somebody take the time out to do that. I could not do that. But it makes a lot of sense in theory, though. Even 3 hours, people will start to go crazy. 3 hours without your normal routine, just sit there and think about your life. It is a pretty powerful statement, because I think a lot of us have issues. A lot of people have their minds are on fire and they just keep moving to suppress the flames. But if you sit too long, they'll just start building up. I think a lot of people feel like that. So interesting. I love listening to that guy. What else do we got? Let's see here. We did those two.
So anywhere between 3:30 to 6 or 5:30 or whatever the time the sunrise happens is considered Brahma Muhurtam, because your pineal gland is at its highest level of secretion. That means you can stabilize. In modern medicine, it is seen as a mood stabilizer. Well, I've been talking about bringing yourself to ease. Bringing yourself to ease means that you are not a fluctuation, you are at ease. This is naturally happening at a certain time. At that time, people want to sit up and do their spiritual processes so that they get the best benefit. So that is labeled as Brahma Muhurtam, or the time of the creator. Or you can look at it this way, it is a time when you can create yourself. You can make yourself the way you want yourself to be. So you become the Brahman in the morning so that you will make yourself the way you want yourself to be. There's another dimension.
Sorry. 3-day challenge, Slim? Yeah, exactly. That'd be one hell of a challenge. What he was saying, though, about the 3:30 a.m., that's exactly… And I discovered that on accident, just working for myself and working odd hours and going to bed early and then getting up super early, and then, one day just deciding, fuck it, if I'm up this early, I'm just going to work. And I do my show till 4, and then I'm always working at 4 a.m. Like, the only time that I won't be working at 4 a.m. is if my sleep schedule is just so off that I'm sleeping at 4 a.m. for whatever reason. But yeah, 3:30 to 6, like he's talking about, those are my most productive hours. I have the most creative mind. I have the most motivation to, work in the kitchen and make my creations and do all that. It all happens between those hours. And I'll work all the way till like 9, 10 o'clock till I got to go out to sell. But, the creative, I feel it at those hours. It's very strange. That's a real thing. The inner engineering program is worth it. Yes, for sure. And with the 3:30 to 6 thing, it's interesting how most normal people, will say normal people that have a 9 to 5, can't never experience that. They have to be sleeping during those hours, or they're getting up, like at 5 a.m. or whatever, and they're, dreading going to work, and, they just have to get into their routine and just go. Some people take a shower, fix their lunch, whatever the case may be. But to truly enjoy those hours, it is pretty magical. I enjoy them. Joe Della, CG2, good morning. Still in bed here, but listening. Okay, good. Let's see what this one is.
Dimension of well-being, that is, you simply well, not because of your body, not because of your mind, not because of your money or social status. Simply you're well. How can a person be simply well? If we grade you as peace, joy, blissfulness, tension, anger, jealousy, how much percentage of you is anger, jealousy, fear? I made an estimate, you may be 7%. And I thought, let me take that. If you're minus all these aspects of anger, hatred, fear, jealousy, you have prepared a soil which will naturally lead to well-being.
Man, public.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with that. I think it's a lot easier said than done, especially in the world that we live in. But it's definitely a good template. Slim's video, we watched that. Let's see, I think I got one more. This one was for Todd Father, if he's around. This is some advice for him.
Just have some goddamn respect for somebody who will beat your fucking ass. Because they might beat your fucking ass. I've had that kind of lesson learned when I'm a kid growing up, you know what I'm saying?
You don't talk shit to somebody.
Yeah, actually, I remember having to fight people, and they say, I brought my brother back to a park one time, like, this fool sucking shit with all his blood, and he's like, let's go over there. They started punking him, and he comes, my brother comes up to me, hey, this dude wants to fight you. You want to fight him? And I'm like, yeah, I'll fight that motherfucker. And then he's like, all right, let me go tell him, and we'll go all the way over there where no one can stop it. I'm just like, what the fuck? My lesson learned, I stopped talking shit unless I was ready to fight.
So that message is for Todd Father. I'll play that for when he comes around. You like that, Donna? All right, those are all the YouTube videos I had saved. Yeah, I think those are good advice. It's good to hear, the Sadhguru guy talk, and people like him talk sometimes. Anthony Robbins. I don't know if you guys are a big Anthony Robbins fan, but he's got, I learned a lot from him. I read his book, Awaken the Giant Within, when I was 18. And I mean, I still draw back on that book to this day, 30 years later. 34 years later. Holy shit. I was 18, 34 years ago. Fuck. Time flies, right? Dun, 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 dun. But I act my age now. I'm fully comfortable with being 52. I know my age. I know my age limits as far as who I would date. And, you know, like, I'll say, like, it's got to be like in the high 30s, probably, is like my cutoff for how young they could be, you know, like 35, I would say probably cut. And I can't go younger than 35. And probably it's going to be, you know, the girls that I've dated over the last few years have all been within my age, you know, 50, same age as me. Yeah. So, and everybody should be self-aware of their age. And even when, you know, I feel like a lot of these guys, as they get older, they just like, I don't know what it is. I don't know. Something snaps in their brain where they're like, oh, I'm going to die soon. So I need to live out all my sexual fantasies. And this is how I'm going to do it. I don't know. But people get fucking weird when they get older. That's a fact. And the reason, there's a point why I'm saying this, because that's a video, I think it's one of the first ones, of a school teacher who was talking to underage kids, which, you know, and he probably won't even do that much jail time, and because he really didn't do anything wrong, according to him. There we go. Let's just play it real quick. How old is this guy? This guy is a 42-year-old fourth grade teacher, Ross Ashenfelter, charged with sending explicit online messages to an undercover detective posing as a 13-year-old girl, even arranging a meetup. And this is here in Washington State. You know, and of course we're going to have these type of people in our school system because, well, and this is why my granddaughter will never go to public school, at least here in Washington, because all of our politicians are pedophiles and rapists and child molesters, and yeah, I'm not kidding. So you're a 42-year-old fourth grade teacher, and you are online, and you might even be doing this in the classroom. You might be doing this on your phone in the classroom with your fourth graders right there. It's just fucking unbelievable, man. This dude should they should just shoot him right in the fucking head, right in the classroom, in my opinion. Because there's no kids in there right now.
Are you Mr. Ashenfelter?
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I'm Detective Hoffman, Sheriff's Office.
Yeah, hi.
Right now I want to tell you you are under arrest. Would you me a favor, stand up, put your hands behind your back for me.
Excuse me?
Right now you're under arrest.
Okay.
You know, if I was ever approached by the cops and they said, hi, I'm the sheriff's department, you're under arrest, I'd be like, for what, motherfucker? For what? What the fuck am I under arrest for? I'm not going to just automatically put my hands behind my back and go, okay. I mean, motherfuckers, man. He's lucky I don't know nobody at this school.
Here, this is Detective Sinclair right in front of you.
Yeah.
He'll explain kind of what's going on.
I have reason to believe that you've been in communication with the 13-year-old child. You told her at some point last week that you were going to come meet up with her, and then you didn't. So she told her mom that she'd been talking to a teacher. We did some investigation and found out that teacher was you.
Okay.
We have all of those text communications between them.
Okay.
Okay?
Is there a simple way to do this?
Like how?
Instead of booking and
Well, it's a Class C felony. I guess I'm failing to understand how you would like to simplify things.
it did not happen.
You didn't communicate with a child,
I never met with her and I never intended to.
so you probably won't be allowed back to the school. I've read all of the text communication between you and this child, and it's highly inappropriate for
It is.
any adult to have
Yeah.
with a child, let alone a fourth grade teacher.
Okay.
It is deplorable, and it disgusts me beyond belief too. And it's a predator in a position of trust. And he is a sick puppy. And he is going to jail, but it's not enough, because this is, and this is nothing. This is nothing. And Washington State is just, don't bring your kids here, man. It is absolute disgust. What's going on here? We have we have those massage parlors that are, I live on Pacific Avenue in Tacoma, which is just a really busy, shitty street in Tacoma, Washington. And there's literally 15 massage parlors. Well, even just within a stone's throw of me, literally a stone's throw, 1, 2, 3, at least 3, maybe 4 massage parlors, but at least 3 I could hit with a rock. Literally, there's got to be 15 to 20 of them on Pacific Avenue alone. And I have a buddy, I've told this story before. Sorry, Choppy, that's his nickname, if you're listening, who told me that he's done this before. He's just a sick fuck. Who goes to those, or at least he went to one, and had, he's told me before that he's went to them and had the happy ending. This is like years ago, but just, I'll say 2 years ago, on his 40th birthday, he came over and he told me that he had sex at one of those massage parlors, which I already assumed that was a thing because there were so many of them. But I knew for sure that he would, as soon as he told me that. So my daughter has a friend who's her friend is a cop. Her friend's husband is a cop, and they're getting a divorce because he had sex. Got caught having sex in some of those massage parlors. So, this is what these people are doing. Not only now do you have, these people are like so sexually just gross. When they have their sexual desires, they can literally just walk into a massage parlor and pay for sex. So, I don't know how it's legal, Donna. I don't know how it became legal, but I said something about it on a police Facebook thing for the Pierce County Sheriff's Department on Facebook one time. And somebody just said, because I go, that there's legal prostitution going on in those massage parlors, and everybody knows it. And it's just some random cop, you can tell it's, they don't say they're a cop, but you look at their profile, it's just got like a blue something or other, and then nothing really on their profile, but then with a picture of a dog or something stupid. She goes, "Oh, how would you know? Do you go in there and get handies or something like to that effect?" You know what I mean? They know damn well that it goes on. So, in Washington State, we have children or teachers that it's just, man, nothing gets me more fucking pissed off than this shit. I'm losing my train of thought just even thinking about it. I'm going to move on. But that's why, if you live in Washington State, don't send your kids to public schools because it is bad. I mean, that's nothing. I bet you that's in every school. Why would a school teacher not want to, why would a sexual predator not want to be a school teacher in Washington State? Why would you not want to be? They're not going to, you know what I mean? Like that's got to be just like for a dog and pony show, because they openly allow, we got state senators saying the most disgusting shit here. And I've already played the videos, but I'm just going to move on. This is why I played Sadhguru in the beginning, so we could get at least a little bit of positivity before I fucking go off the rails. Let's see here. Campbell Soup was in the news recently because the vice president came out and said that, calling him out for bioengineered meat. And I started to talk about this a couple days ago and immediately went off on the tangent about the crickets in our food, the acheta powder. So if you guys were here for that show, we did a little bit on the acheta powder, but and if you don't know what about the cricket powder in our food, they're not even telling us what they're putting in our food at this point, guys. I promise you. Like the shit that we're probably eating, who knows what we're eating? I mean, who knows what we're eating? But I bet I had no idea that Campbell owned this much stuff. So yeah, if they're putting fake meat and everything's bioengineered in their soup.
So Campbell Soup thinks it's funny to mock poor people. That's wild coming from a company that literally built their entire empire off of the same working class families that they're laughing at. You can't spend decades selling canned sodium water and bioengineered mystery meat to people who are struggling and then turn around and talk shit about them. That's not just disrespect. That's who these corporations really are. And the comments I've seen prove it. Everyone's done. People are finally realizing that Campbell's owns, half the damn snack aisle. Goldfish, Snyder's, Cape Cod, Kettle Brand, Pretzel Crisps, Prego, Swanson, all the same company feeding us the same garbage under different labels. And now we find out that they're slipping bioengineered ingredients in the food and didn't even bother putting it in the label. But sure, the people buying it are the poor ones, right? The ones working 2 jobs, the ones stretching groceries, the ones keeping Campbell's alive for a century. This is exactly why people are pissed. This is why people are tapping out. Because if a company openly disrespects the same people that are keeping the lights on, then they don't deserve any of our money anymore. So
Well, it's more complicated than that now. He was fired, right? But our eyes were open. Yeah. Yes. CG2. Luckily, that's the one good thing is that at least people's eyes are being opened to a lot of the nonsense that's going on now. Will it change anything? Because this stuff has been going on for a long time, and the levels of deception, I don't think people can even really handle if they knew the truth. I mean, none of us. It's really bad. It just it's just more and more levels of deception. Osada, I've noticed recently that the large confectionery companies are substituting milk and mixing palm oil with it. Yeah, palm kernel oil. Yeah. Palm kernel and or palm oil. Yes, it is true. It's soy, it's palm, it's all that. I meant to mention chocolate. Yeah, no, it is. It's weird is I seen an advent calendar that it literally said on there that it was chocolate and seed oil or vegetable oil coating, something like that. It's like, what? I mean, there's 2 different types of chocolate. There's compound chocolate and there's couverture chocolate. Couverture has cocoa butter in it, beta crystals. And the compound chocolate is like meltable wafers that you don't have to temper the chocolate. Couverture chocolate, you have to, do a heating and cooling process to temper it in order to make it have a nice crisp and snap, and you can touch it without it melting in your hand. Where the compound, you can just melt it and dip strawberries. That's what I use as the compound. No wonder it doesn't taste the same as when I was a kid. Yeah, and all the companies. Here, I'll show you something really quick. Let me see if I can find the video.
owns all the candy companies. I was walking past the candy aisle the other day and I thought, I wonder if there's anyone except for Hershey's there. So we're gonna look into all these different brands and see if there's any family-owned candy brands or if it's just all big mega corporations. Why don't we start right here with the GOAT, M&M's. M&M's is owned by Mars. We'll probably be seeing a lot of them in here. Mars family is America's third wealthiest family, and they own the shit out of candy and pet food. We'll let Mars family be purple. So now we're looking at Twix, owned by Mars. You know,
The Mars company started right here in Tacoma, Washington, and so did Brown and Haley, which is Almond Roca, which is just a couple blocks from me, and my buddy works down there. They've been around for over 100 years.
it'd be faster if I just look up what is all the candies that Mars owns. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Although here it turns out it's just Snickers and Dove was getting added to that list. So I think we all know who's coming next. Hershey's owns a shitload of companies. We'll let Hershey's be red because that's a mega corporation. Nope, plain and simple. Kit Kat got confusing because they're owned by Nestle, but United States, they're done by Reese's, which is actually Hershey's. So what about Nestle? I gotta find a more complete list than that. Whoa, goddamn. That list keeps going and it keeps going. How many brands does Nestle own? Damn. This is fun.
Nestle owns 2,000 brands.
Fine. Everything's fine. Although all those brands, and actually they don't have that much shelf space here. But maybe I missed a few. Yeah, I missed Heath. And there was a little bag of Kraft candy right there. So Warren Buffett's on the shelf. You know Wardy got to be in every aisle. So I know we're all looking up there wondering who owns Lindt. But psych, we're going to look at Ferrero first. Ferrero is a mysterious-ass company from over in Europe. They're private, and they're spooky. So we'll let their spooky ass be brown. Because they got Kinder, they got Butterfinger. Oh, I missed coloring in that one up there too. We'll get to that later. But now let's get to Lindt up there. They got a lot of chocolate. No shit. Top shareholder is Vanguard with 30%. No wonder they got so much shelf space. It turns out Lindt also owns Ghirardelli. So Vanguard's got the whole top shelf, I guess. But if you've been around here, then you know that the corners might be where we find family brands. Because mega corporations always got the main shelf. So Cashew Roca is owned by Brown and Haley. You guys know who owns all the candy companies?
So the video got shut off, got kind of cut short there, but just kind of gives you an idea. And if you don't know who Vanguard is and State Street and BlackRock, they own everything. They own 60% of all housing. They own everything. They have their hands in literally everything. They own all the fast food chains. They own everything. So the fact that they, and Vanguard was at, Vanguard is part of like the World Economic Forum and BlackRock and State Street, all those guys. And they were literally handing out chocolate bars with cricket powder in it outside in Davos, Switzerland at the WEF, at one of their global meetings a couple years ago. So Hershey's bars in Canada and Hershey's bars in the United States completely taste different. The Canadian Hershey is smoother but less sweet. They have their own separate plant. Yes. And here, I think like most of all the major companies here, it's all the same chocolate. Like Hershey's and Mars and all those guys, because you just seen like how it said like when you went to Kit Kat, like Hershey's own, Reese's owns, and it's all confusing. And they all get their chocolate from the same place, the same vat, which is it's crazy. And they just use different labels. Like they all just got together. So yeah, I mean, you go to the grocery store, but we all know this, right? I mean, what are we supposed to do at this point? Demand that the, food conglomerates, they don't even know how to make food. The people that own all these companies now, they have no idea how to make food. They're using their high technology with the 3D printers and all this kind of stuff. They're not the creators of those original products. All that's gone. You know, it's not even the same. It's not even nothing remotely the same as it originated as. You know what I mean? I guess I'm just trying to say, if you want a good soup, you got to make it yourself. You know, does anybody expect to get high quality Campbell soup? You know, soup from a can? I don't know. Let's go back to the X-Files.
It is truly insane to me that in 2025, this is Black Friday in front of a Walmart. It is 5:45 in the morning. Store opens in 15 minutes, and there is literally nobody out here with me. If this would have been in the early 2000s, it would have been mass panic, mass insanity. People lost their lives in the early 2000s for Black Friday. People would get up against the doors and just ram in. It was insane. This is absolutely nuts to me. I don't know about anybody else, but I don't ever remember Black Friday being this desolate. There is nobody here with me. Which makes, I guess, for easy shopping, but still, I mean, I kind of miss the rush of Black Friday a little bit, at least. Am I the only one? I can't be the only one that misses the rush.
And I don't know how Black Friday was around where you guys are at, but yesterday morning I went to Fred Meyer's, one of the names of the stores here, to buy strawberries and some coffee. And when I walked in, you know, it was just nothing out of the ordinary until I walked in. I noticed there was a table set up and two ladies were sitting there, and they had Krispy Kreme miniature donuts in little cups, and I think some coffee or something. And I was thinking to myself, what the fuck is that? Why are they there, you know, this early with those donuts or something? It didn't register until a little bit later that it was Black Friday. But then I was talking with somebody, yes, make it yourself, most definitely, 100% for the soup. But, you know, until they come out with something better than the cell phone, there's, you know, I mean, I guess the next thing that, like, if they happen to launch a new video game system or Grand Theft Auto 6, that new video game everybody wants, I could see a huge, you know, chaos on Black Friday. But other than that, until they, you know, like as far as TVs go, nobody gives a shit about a TV anymore. You don't care how big your TV is, really. I mean, and they're cheap. They're cheap as hell. So you know, you can get a 3,000-inch square TV to fit, you know, bend into every room of your house for like $65 now. I think that's how cheap they are. So Black Friday's dead. But then you look at some of the old videos of Black Friday and you're like, thank God it's dead. Because it was just absolute chaos. And that's exactly what it would be again. You know, if it's better for it to be dead, because if it's like something that everybody wanted, then people would get shot and stabbed and ran over and trampled. You know what I mean? Excuse me. But that's just what it is. So I'm not really sad about it, to tell you the truth. People are saying that Trump is fat and lazy.
Thank you. Here, take that picture if you want it, press.
Mr. President, what are you most thankful for this Thanksgiving?
The fact that America's great again. We've made America great again. America was a dead country. We've made America great again. Here you go. Got it?
Thank you, Mr. President. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you.
So they were commenting. It says, anyone else notice Fat Caligula basically lives in a chair now? Watch the lumbering fat fuck try to stand up. To be fair, it can't be easy when you're 300 plus pounds and strapped into an extra large diaper, a leg brace, and a piss bag. So, and the name of the post is Canada Hates Trump. So, you know, what I say to
Any
that is,
reaction, Felter?
you're the president of the United States and you're 80 years old, because I think he's like 80 now, right? I mean, you got to cut him a little bit of slack. He's not going to, you know, if he's sitting, you know, do you want your president in the gym for 3 hours a day? You know what I mean? Like, I think that would be a hard no. It's like, if you're in the gym for 3 hours a day, you're not doing your job as president. I'm sorry. So.
Oh, yeah, hi. Hey, I'm Detective Hoffman Sheriff's Office.
That one. What do we got here?
And just like everyone else, we see these leaks, we see this, and I'm just going to call it as it seems like a toxic relationship, you know, and caveats, you know, that we do believe these leaks are corroborated, that Turkey Tom has photos of the individuals together, of his source, etc. We do know that other photos from inside were corroborated.
I didn't, excuse me, I didn't bother to watch this video, so I'm just going to stop it because he's just rambling. But it says, wow, unreal. Dr. Chloe Carmichael tells Jack Posobiec that it was discovered that whistleblowers claimed Pornhub trying to convert straight males to trans porn. So we'll just move on. I don't even know why I bookmarked that. Let's see here.
We have news just today that Erica Kirk, Charlie Kirk's widow and the head of Turning Points USA, has now said that there's an effort to support J.D. Vance in 2028 that is in the works. What do you make of that? Is he the clear heir apparent, or is there potentially a real race in the Republican side?
Well, I'm not surprised that Erica said that, because Charlie Kirk was a massive fan of J.D. Vance. He backed him in his Senate race. You know, J.D. Vance was.
Okay. So this is just propaganda, deep state, making their move 101. You know, they get you to accept the fact that Erica Kirk and Turning Point now are the leading voice for the Republican Party in the United States. Like, when did this happen? But that's what they want you to accept. I'm going to play it again.
We have news just today that Erica Kirk, Charlie Kirk's widow and the head of Turning Points USA, has now said that there's an effort to support J.D. Vance in 2028 that is in the works. What do you make of that? Is he the clear heir apparent, or is there potentially a real race in the Republican?
So I don't know about you guys, but I could give two shits less what Turning Point USA thinks, who they endorse. I've never listened to one sentence that any of those people have ever said, unless it pertains to Candace Owens and trying to figure out who killed Charlie Kirk. Other than that, I don't care about Erica Kirk, what she has to say. Josh Hammer, Andrew Kovac, and I only know these names because of the excuse me, the Candace Owens thing. You know, I've never seen a more worthless, just fake organization in my life. I mean, they're just got to be up there kind of with Amway, you know, Turning Point USA. Like, they're not even real. You know, it's just it's shower time, guys. Have a great Saturday. All right, Joe, have a good one. We'll see you. I don't know about you guys. and sorry to offend anybody if they love Turning Point USA and they watch their shows on a daily basis. And, you know, I'm just going to guess, though, and say that none of you guys do. I don't know. I would even love to find some young people that do. You know, half the time these guys talk from a podium, you might hear some people like making noise in the audience to create an illusion that there's a crowd. You know, it's a room full of people, but I don't even believe that half the time. I don't know who Turning Point USA is, and I don't care who they endorse for president. It's not going to affect my decision one way or the other. Matter of fact, if we don't get to the bottom of who killed Charlie Kirk, I will vote opposite. I will not vote for who they endorse because they're full of shit and they're murderers. And they know who killed Charlie Kirk. So I would never vote for anybody that they endorsed anyways. Just because they say it doesn't make it true. Exactly. CG2. So let's see here. What do we got here?
I'm an American citizen. Yes, I want Israel to win. Yes, I'm a Christian. But like some of the mess, and you've seen how I've been treated, Megan, by some, not all, by some.
No, it's very irritating.
It's
been
almost
so
as if
unfair. They were coming after you after Turning Point for, among other things, that you had Dave Smith there. Dave Smith is allowed to criticize Israel. You had both sides. The Israeli side was overrepresented.
Though. No, you're not allowed to. It's even worse than that. Again, I just want to repeat for the 5th time. I love Israel. I want Israel to win. But my moral character is now being put into question, Megan. Not my decisions. Not like, hey, are you doing this? Is it smart or is it dumb? But no, I am a bad person if I do this. And I could go. I mean, you saw it, Megan. It was trending on Twitter, thousands of tweets and text messages. And if I were to be charitable and generous, I will say the people that are attacking me are in a hyper paranoid state because they're at war, and war tends to make things black and white, and you're a hammer looking for a nail. So I'm trying to be charitable, Megan. Literally, I'm trying to cut as much slack as I can, right? Like, okay, what would it be like if all of a sudden I'm starting to see a pattern of behavior similar to what my grandparents saw in 1930s Germany online? How would I behave? So that's like my charitable kind of overcompensation spirit. At the same time, I'm like, but it's not defensible to be dumb, right?
You know, and I think
I'm an American citizen.
I think anybody that is kind of, you know, there's a lot of people that feel like that right now. That feel like you don't know anybody that watches that either, CG2. Yeah, same. You know, they just throw it in our face, you know. But I feel the same way that Charlie Kirk did, you know, and that was obviously before he was killed. That, you know, it's you know, they're gaslighting us, these people that have infiltrated America. Like, if you don't go along with their beliefs, they gaslight you into making you believe you're a bad person. You know, these are the same people that are, man, it's just so fucked up what's going on. The takeover of America. I seen another video yesterday, and I don't think I bookmarked it. Maybe I did, but Charlie Kirk, like, he named these 4 women, and he goes, you want to know who really runs Washington, D.C.? He goes, the permanent Washington, D.C. crew. He goes, and he named 4 women. I had never heard of any of them. And he goes, these women are, he goes, most of America probably doesn't even know who these women are. And I looked them up. I looked all 4 of them up, and they're like policymakers, publisher for, I can't even remember. But it just was such a weird video. Like, it just made me think, like, those women that's part of the reason why he was killed, because he called them out. You know, there's just certain people, and I heard Megyn Kelly say this, certain people you just don't talk about. You know, they just have too much power. All very fascinating. But I feel the same way Charlie did. It's like they make you feel like you're a bad person if, you know, you don't like the things that are going on. Kash Patel, God, I hate this guy. He's talking about the 764 network. It's online predators that were targeting children. And then he goes on to say that they got their name to 764 because it originated out of Texas, and I think that's the area, one of the area codes in Texas. And he said that he's proud to announce that their arrest of 764 network has gone up 490% since the same time last year. He's just such a stone cold liar. I just find it interesting that there's this thing going around about 7/6. I don't know if you guys have heard about that. Like kids go crazy when they hear the number 7/6, and it's not supposed to mean anything. But this is 764, which is a network of online predators. I don't know if that's a coincidence or not.
The protection of our children is one of our biggest priorities here. And the 764 network started in Texas. That's why it's called the 764 network. It was the area code of where it originated. And the original founder of that network is doing 80 years in federal prison, and rightly so. But we made a huge push this year to protect our children against these online predators. And this is the worst of the worst. These individuals are actors throughout America and throughout the world who don't really have a connection to each other in terms of group focus and group mission set. But individually, they subscribe to this ideology that they can prey on our children online. Just to look at the cases we've showed you in North Carolina, DC, Jersey, and one other state recently, they were preying on kids from 8 to 15 years old, convincing them, these children, to send them nude and sexually explicit pictures, which amount to what we call child sexual pornography, which is a federal offense. What's worse is they were sharing.
Thank you for clearing that for us, you idiot. Like we didn't know that.
And exchanging information about animal crushing, about torturing animals. What's worse than that is these individuals, these perpetrators, these criminals, were convincing children to mutilate themselves. And in some cases, unfortunately, more than one, these children ended up committing suicide because they were threatened by the perpetrator that we will go public if you tell anyone. And so I said, we are not having this at this FBI. So we made it a mission set priority to collaborative work against the 764 network. And I'm proud to announce today, Jan, that the number of arrests that this FBI has against 764 network this year alone is up 490% from the same time last year.
Yes, the 6-7 sweet tea. I don't know if you've heard of that or not. What did I do? Sorry, let me get back to that. He's such a worthless human being, Kash Patel. And so the founder of 764, he just admitted that some of these kids were convinced to mutilate themselves and in some situations committed suicide. The guy gets 80 years in prison, and rightfully so. So that's his justice for a guy that starts an entire network where kids are killing themselves. And not to mention he gets 80 years. That's what you get, 80 years. I mean, it just makes no sense. Some sports guy was asked how tall he was, and he answered 6'7", and someone put it to music. Yeah, Carmelo Anthony, I think that's who it was. Milo Anthony, something like that. Yeah, I did hear that. And then I seen a thing where they had it on, like Kelly Ripa. I didn't watch it, but it said Kelly Ripa learns that 6'7", the true meaning of 6'7", and that it means nothing or something like that. So yeah, no, and I get that, but here's I know somebody, like I'm not friends with them, but I know him on Facebook, they're allowing their kid to sell 6-7 keychains. Like it's popular at the school. So I think that, let's just say it means nothing. Okay. Still not going to let my kid have anything to do with it, nor do I want it even to be a thing. The fact that it's just I truly believe it has something to do with that 764. It's too damn close. This guy is probably a pedophile himself, Kash Patel. I'd put money on it. There's nothing about that guy I like.
Because we see usually the narrative, especially when you're talking about the Middle East, it seems that all of the blame, they always want to blame Israel, no matter what. The strangest things, anything could happen. It could not rain for 3 days, and it's curse Israel, the Israel state, the IDF. They brought about all of this. There were, for whatever reason, 12 Israeli cell phones on the ground at Utah Valley University the day that Charlie Kirk was assassinated. Because Israel's controlling our government. So no, the answer is no. Trump is powerless against him. I don't think we've been a sovereign nation since they shot JFK. And when I say they, it's like people online say, what do you mean by they? I'm talking about Israel. I don't want you guys to read in between. I'm talking about Israel. This is our never again. Okay. This is a Holocaust. The Holocaust just happened in this pre-planned.
They're trying to, make her out to be a flipper and a switcher. That first she's saying, years ago, she was like, they want to blame everything on Israel. And now, well, I feel the same way. I would have said the same thing back then. Now it's a completely different ballgame. Things have changed, Obviously, Trump did some shit and, Israel has blackmail on him. And that's why they're all up in our government now. You didn't see Benjamin Netanyahu at the White House every other day when Biden was president. TPUSA. Did anybody even know that TPUSA existed during the Biden administration? I didn't, but yet there's all these, videos of Turning Point USA and Erica Kirk with her family, and never had one inkling that organization even existed. Now, I did see the Charlie Kirk guy, on Twitter. I just would choose not to watch him. I would just scroll along. It wasn't my thing. But so if anybody doesn't think that Israel's running our government, you're not really paying attention. Like, it's exactly what's going on. So they're just attacking Candace because she's getting closer to the truth. This guy's got a pretty good take on things.
They tell us to stop eating out and rent $2,000 a month. Oh, save for retirement, and yet you can barely save for next week. Go buy a house. Every house is $500,000, brother. I'm not asking for a handout, man. We're asking for a freaking fair shot at life. Our parents did not work harder than we work right now. They were simply just given a better chance. Their wages covered their lives, their bills, their hobbies, their passions. Our wages barely cover our freaking bills for the month, dude. No amount of budgeting can ever fix a system designed to keep us down. We're doing the best that we can, and yet it feels like the outcome has already been decided.
Yep, I can't argue with that, my guy. What else do we got here?
It was $4.39 pre-tax, right? Pre-tax. And I was warming it up. I went to open it up to flip it around. And this is what I got. And I'm just saying, this Marie Callender, this was good. This was good. I love their pot pies. Even their pot pies are good. But that is I'm sorry. That is sad. That's a sad meatloaf. Okay.
Well, it says a private equity firm bought Marie Callender's, drove them into bankruptcy. The company was then purchased by a large restaurant group this year in 2025. So just more of, whoops, why do I keep doing that? More of companies getting bought out, and it's just not even the same product. It's basically what happens every time now. So I got to make it yourself. Here is the Philadelphia Eagles coach yelling at fans.
Look at this fucking cannoli brain. This dude's had one too many cannolis. Look at this shit. He's fucking screaming at fans. Why? Because he's the asshole coaching like shit and he's acting like he won something? Dude, you didn't win that Super Bowl. Howie Roseman's general managing won that Super Bowl. Kellen Moore's offense won that Super Bowl. Vic Fangio's defense won that Super Bowl. You were useless, dude. You're interchangeable. And look at the dude behind him, just looking at him like, you're a fucking psychopath. Look at that face on that dude, just like, why the fuck are you screaming? Why? Why is he screaming? Like, look at his own coach right back there going, I can't believe I got to put up with this Guido douchebag milkshake week in and week out who thinks he's won something. You can just see on his face. Look at that face over there on the left. He's like, what a fucking psychopath. Because this dude does. He, like, parades around like he's fucking won something. He's always puffing out his chest. He's always acting like he's done something.
I don't even know why I bookmarked that video, to tell you the truth. I'm trying to figure out what is the reason, and I can't find one. So I'm going to move on. I think that may have been a mistake.
Written note, was there? Did he write a written note before the assassination attempt? That's what the governor said yesterday. And what did that say? If you could. So what I'm able to.
Okay. Try to make sense of this. Hold on. Let's see. Charlie Kirk's assassin, Tyler Robinson, left behind a manifesto. They're calling it a manifesto that was destroyed, but the FBI can forensically prove its existence. Okay. Try to make sense of this.
Written note, was there? Did he write a written note before the assassination attempt? That's what the governor said yesterday. And what did that say? If you could.
So what I'm able to say. I'm sorry. So what I'm able to say is I addressed it partially earlier, is that the written note, we believe what did exist, and we have evidence to show what was in that note, which is, and I'm going to summarize, basically saying the suspect wrote a note saying, I have the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk and I'm going to take it. That note was written before the shooting. Evidence of its existence, we now have learned, existed before the shooting, was in the location in the suspect and partner's home. But we have since learned that the note, even though it has been destroyed, we have found forensic evidence of the note, and we have confirmed what that note says because of our aggressive interview posture at the FBI.
Was it written note? Was it?
So there you have it. They have forensically proved the existence of the note, even though it was destroyed, because of their aggressive interviewing posture at the FBI. Yeah, skip that one. I'll skip that one. Kamala Harris for Thanksgiving. What's happening here?
We are preparing.
We're getting the collard greens.
We are preparing
Collard
greens
For what?
for Thanksgiving dinner.
And what did you already prepare that, right?
The cornbread for our cornbread dressing,
Wow.
our stuffing.
Okay. Can't wait for tomorrow.
Yeah.
What's happening here? Yikes. Don't even know what to say about that. I have a hard time believing anything Cash Patel said. Yeah. It is not hard having a hard time believing what he has to say. He's just full of it, completely full of it. We dodged the bullet with Kamala for sure. more Charlie Kirk real quick.
You want to stop all immigration? I'm sorry, all immigration, Nate Morris? That's amazing. You want an immigration moratorium? Producer Andrew right now is giving you a standing ovation. Explain, Nate Morris. What do you mean by that?
Charlie, we've been in a crisis for decades. We've had open borders for decades. And Charlie, we're absolutely full. We are overrun with illegals in this country. They have overrun.
I'm going to skip that one. Did you guys hear about the mayor in Rhode Island? What do you call those? Sexual predator? Can you guys see the screen here? Yes. This is Mike English, Democrat and convicted child molester running for mayor in Rhode Island. Michael English, a Democrat and convicted child molester, is currently running for mayor. Okay, we determined that. In 1998, English pleaded no contest to sexually molesting a 13-year-old girl. He served only 15 months of a 20-year sentence before being released. He then spent an additional 19 months in prison in 2009 after violating a no-contact order with the victim. So that would be 11 years later. And if he would have did his 20-year sentence, he wouldn't have violated the no-contact order. English does not appear on the Rhode Island Sex Offender Registry due to his registry expiring after only 10 years. So this guy was messing with the 13-year-old girl, only had to do 15 months, violates the no contact order with the victim years later. And now he is allowed to run for mayor, and he's not a sex offender because it's a 10-year, it expires after 10 years. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. This is just, it's fucking maddening. Let me see. Did I have any more bookmarks? Utah father Micah Smith has been indicted on 3 counts of child torture and 3 counts of aggravated child abuse after taking his children aged 2, 4, and 8 on a dangerous hike during a severe storm. The 2-year-old fell, hit his head, and briefly stopped breathing, revived by CPR. The 4-year-old became severely hypothermic, lost consciousness, had no pulse for 25 minutes, suffered a stroke, and required emergency skull surgery. The 8-year-old asked if they were going to freeze to death. Court's records show Smith had expressed suicidal thoughts a month earlier and was found with firearms. I mean, fuck. I don't even want to watch that one. Here we have a nice young lady eating something just without paying for it. What else do we have? Skip that one.
I predict that tons of fast food and restaurant places are going to go out of business before they figure it out. What am I talking about? The fact that it's so damn much money to go out to eat right now that people just aren't doing it anymore. And if they do it, they're going to places that have actually gotten it. What do I mean by gotten it? Okay, so I can go to In-N-Out for half the price of every other fast food place, and the food is better. I can go to Chili's, BJ's, or Red Lobster and get a meal for lunch for under $20 or happy hour $5 margaritas. Well, you can't go to McDonald's or Chipotle for under $20 now. Yeah, if you hit the dollar menu, you use the app and you do little tricks and stuff. Me and my son went to Chipotle the other day. The video's everywhere. It was $52.64 for the two of us to get 2 bowls and 2 drinks. Like, these people have lost their minds. A lot of these fast food places and a lot of these sit-down places. Like Denny's, me and my son went to Denny's to have breakfast. It's a Denny's. It was over $62 for the two of us to have coffee and our breakfast. And I was like, what the hell did we eat? Yeah, we left a 20% tip, but I was like, $60 for Denny's? Like, are you people nuts? And then I saw an article the other day that Denny's has a whole bunch of restaurants closing. And it's just like, these places are just going to keep going under, guys, because they don't get it. They jacked the prices as high as they could possibly get it. They got this thing where like, okay, this is the most important quarter. Now this is the most important quarter. We just got to keep squeezing people over and over for as much money as we can get out of them. And you squeeze so hard that now all these places are way too expensive. Like right now you can go to Chili's at lunch. You can get a burger or a chicken sandwich, fries and a drink for $9.99 and walk out of Chili's. Chili's is packed at lunch. They figured it out. Red Lobster, happy hours, $5 margaritas. Red Lobster's packed at happy hour. Does that seem right to you? Nah, doesn't seem right to me. It's great for Red Lobster. Love it. But they figured it out. A lot of these places just jacked the prices so high, never came back down. And you see all these layoffs. You see all these businesses closing. You see all these businesses in bankruptcy. It's because they jacked the prices way too high and squeezed people way too hard and never came back down. And they'd rather go out of business than take a loss for a couple of quarters, get the prices back down to where they should be, and get their customers some value again. It's absolutely crazy when I see it. Let me know. Are you guys still going out to eat? Because we really try to avoid it whenever we can, and we try to cook at home. Even that's crazy with the grocery prices, but it's still better than going out. Let me know.
I mean, I pretty much agree with that. It's hard to argue with that one. You know, I don't go to fast food anymore if I can help it. You know, once in a blue moon, I'll get like a breakfast sandwich if I'm on the go. But I can't remember the last time I ate a hamburger or anything like that from fast food. I would go to a food truck before I go to fast food. That's ridiculous. $62 for, yeah, I did take my granddaughter to Denny's about a month ago. And it was, I think, $35 for the two of us. And it was just, I mean, it's Denny's. What are you going to do? What do we got here?
Listen, I know you've knocked and knocked, and I know you've called and called. I know you've given and given, and you're worn out. But the truth is, you are the front lines. This is it. I mean, I'm looking at these beautiful faces, these women, and these strong men. God, is there anything sexier than a man who is like men for Kamala? But you are the front line of this battle, for lack of a better word. It really is. There are two ways forward, and you guys are going to have a huge voice in how that way is chosen.
Is there anything more sexier than men for Kamala? Kamala. I don't know, guys. All right, last video. Man, I can't believe Michael Franchise is trying to weigh in on Candace. Wasn't this guy a rat? I tried to stay out of the mafia stuff because I don't know anything about it. But, man, if you want to try to step in my lane, dude, you're going to get fucking, I'm going to talk about you.
Hey, everyone. You know, Candace Owens has certainly been a hot topic of conversation over the past couple of months on social media. I would say ever since Charlie Kirk was tragically murdered back in September. And I'm not going to comment on some of her theories and the things that she said about that and about the Macrons and other people. You know, if that's what her thing is, then that's what her thing is. She certainly, you know, seemed to want to become the #1 podcaster. So she created a lot of controversy. That's what does it, it seems. But here's what I have to say. Her husband Why would he allow her to do this? Because she is really getting a lot of hate mail. A lot of people are turning on her, really putting her in a situation where people are hating on her. Why would you allow your wife to be put in that position? I would never put my wife in that position, not for social media, not.
Why do you care? Why are you talking about Candace's husband and her relationship with her husband? Like, why is that even on your radar, dude? I don't get it. You know, it really puts him on my radar. Like, I want to know why he cares. He's being paid to say this, but who does he have a relationship with? The Macaroons or the feds or who?
Not for money, not for anything. To be so hated. I mean, she's out there, she's in public. You know, she's claiming now that the Macrons have, you know,
that's the second time he mentioned the Macrons.
A hit out on her. They want to assassinate her. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about just normal people on social media that have really turned on her and really have spewed hatred out on her. Why would you allow your wife to be put in that position? I hold him fully responsible. I would never put my wife in that position to where people hate on her.
You would never. What a just a fucking dumb take. What a stupid take that is. Okay, she became the #1 podcast in the world because all of us want to know who killed Charlie Kirk. We don't believe the fucking bullshit, and it's dummies like this that come on here and just want to try to convince us otherwise. Like, we're able to think for ourselves, dude. We don't need you fucking coming on here. And now you want to this is such a weird take. I'm starting to think that this guy might be a pedophile or something, or a rapist, when he wants to start talking about somebody else's husband and why a husband would allow his wife. It's her podcast. You weren't saying that when she was saying that the macaroon, that the Brigitte had a dick, or, I mean, I just don't get this at all.
On her so much because of what she's doing on social media. I think that's, 100% wrong on his part. And I don't know what their motive is. He's got plenty of money. They don't need money. It was him that I believe caused her to.
What is your motive for saying this? What is your motive for coming on and making this video? For clicks and views? Do you really care about us? Like, who are you trying to inform by making this video?
Leave the Christian church and become a Catholic. It's still Christianity, but, she turned to Catholicism. He seems to have a lot of pull over her. Why would he put her in jeopardy like that? I hold him 100% responsible if something would have happened to her.
You go ahead and do that, Michael Franchise. You hold him 100% responsible. Who gives a fuck? Why don't you go fuck your mother, your sister, your aunt, and everybody else, and all the people you ratted on? I mean, who gives a fuck what your opinion is of Candace Owens? Nobody could give a fuck. Nobody cares what you have to say about anything, let alone Candace Owens. So, sorry, guys. Kind of a boring show today, I know. Not a whole lot going on in the news. Just a bunch of gaslighting and trying to, distract us from the truth and all this propaganda. People like Michael Franchise, who, I mean, he's MobTube. That's what he talks about, right? Wasn't he the guy that was making $10 million a week stealing from the government in gas or something like that? I mean, my God, I'm going to think about, he just ruined my day. I don't understand how he thinks anybody gives a fuck what he thinks about Candace Owens. I know I don't. But I appreciate you guys hanging out. CG2, Donna's doing it, Sweet Tea, Joe Della. No co-train today. Slim. I'm going to get going. I'm losing my voice. I'm going back out to sell at the Christmas tree farm today. They got a little synthetic ice skating rink out there. So it's 3:00 now. I'm probably going to go back to bed for a little while. get up, go to the store, get strawberries, same routine again. I got cheesecake, strawberries, hot cocoa bombs, Dubai bars. I think I'll probably bake some strawberry shortcakes. Yeah, that kind of thing. So I hope everybody has a great Saturday. It's almost December. Christmas is right around the corner. I pretty much got all my Christmas shopping done. Thank you, CG2. I appreciate that. But yeah, I'm going to get going and hope everybody has a great day, and we will talk to you soon.